If school shootings happen because God isn't allowed in school, what's the deal with Charleston, South Carolina? Is there any point at which Christian conservatives will go, oh, that's what all the mocking has been about all this time? Wow. Sorry about that. I have no idea what got into me. Could Dr. Drew lend his considerable medical credibility to Kim Jong-il's new panacea? For June 26, 2015, from the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media in hot enough to fire ceramics on the sidewalk, Cranston, Rhode Island, this is NewsUndies. For June 26, 2015, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. A few weeks ago, we reported on Louisiana's Religious Freedom Bill, which Governor Bobby Jindal was eager to sign, and which IBM had expressed disappointment about. IBM was in the throes of setting up a new National Service Center in Louisiana, which would employ 800 people. The bill never made it out of the legislature, so Governor Jindal signed an executive order saying essentially the same thing as the bill. IBM has decided to cancel its ribbon-cutting ceremony. That'll show them. On the coattails of that little nugget of provincial backwardness, Governor Bobby Jindal has announced that he is running for the GOP nomination for President of the United States. While we're at it, we should see if Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil or Deepak Chopra are doing anything between now and next summer. The Beaver Dam Common Council in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, has declared that a miniature horse or a dog can qualify as a service animal if properly authorized by a doctor, but not, and this is explicitly excluded from the list of possible service animals, not a baby kangaroo. So, if you're a double amputee and you've got a juvenile kangaroo opening doors and pickle jars for you, that will not fly at the Beaver Dam McDonald's, even with a doctor's note. Michigan, aka the land of the Nuge, now has a bill feeling its way blindly through the state's legislature, which, if passed and signed into law, will require that a marriage be ordained by religious leaders in order to be recognized by the state. Tell you what, I don't care how cheap the land is in Michigan. Fox News has terminated former Alaska governor and one-time vice presidential loser Sarah Palin. Not because she's ignorant, not because she's dangerous, not because she's got no credibility left, but because she is no longer relevant. Oh, and the time zone difference. Don't forget that. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on. Let's rock! For the 20th, Chet Atkins, dead. For the 21st, Jean-Paul Sartre, dead. For the 22nd, Paul Freese, dead. For the 23rd, Randy Jackson. For the 24th, Nancy Allen. For the 25th, Eric Arthur Blair, whom you may know as George Orwell. He's dead. For the 26th, Pearl S. Buck, dead. That's celebrity birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done! Fight City Hall. Still to come, does Chris Rock have the answer? And ask your health professional if Panacea is right for you. Hi, I'm Paul Torville. You may remember me for my 27 on-screen appearances as Z-Core Zombie in Daniel Lee White's feature film, Cost of the Living, a Zom-Rom-Com. On Friday, July 10th, 2015, I will be guest host live on Packard Pokesat, which can be seen live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific, like 0200 UTC on the 11th. The rest of it, you can figure it out. You're smart. You found this crap show. Packard Pokes Ad can be found at http://vaughnlive.tv/Packard Pokes Ad. He also has a YouTube channel and all the social medias because he's good at this stuff. Check him out. He's funny. He does good interviews and he has other people to talk to. So he's got me beat there. And he does his show live. So I suck and Packard is awesome. Check out his videos on YouTube and join us live on Friday, July 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern and all the other appropriate time zones at http://vaughnlive.tv/Packard Pokes Ad. Links in the description. Oh. Antonin Scalia. Yet another mass shooting has reignited the gun debate in America. Again. This is the same goddamn go-nowhere conversation we've been having since the 1981 attempt on the life of Ronald Reagan. And it always ends with Wayne LaPierre or one of his flunkies or one of his sock puppets in the House or Senate saying, "Because fuck you!" and walking away. The gun problem, outside of what's going on inside the heads of people who shoot up churches and schools and shoot unarmed people of a different race and the paranoiac rhetoric of the NRA, boils down to this. If you, the gun enthusiast population, can demonstrate that you can reliably govern yourselves with regard to how you purchase, own, store, carry, and use your firearms, then the need for stringent regulation from the outside is very small. If, on the other hand, you as a population, or a significant fraction thereof, demonstrate a juvenile disregard for the deadly power contained in a firearm and or a lack of ability to regulate your own emotions, then regulation of guns has to be imposed from the outside. Grow up, think like an adult, police your own, and stop using guns as a way to legally wave your penis in the public's face. Guns have permeated American culture for a long time, and to get people to, of their own free will, change their attitude toward guns requires a major cultural shift. It's really, really hard to forcibly change the culture, the whole culture, not just the pop culture or the fashion culture or the LARP culture, the totality of American culture. Good luck with that. And even if you could do it, even if you could reach all those Idaho prepper compound nuts and get them on board, you still have millions of guns and probably billions of rounds of ammo out there in the wild. I think the gun thing, or at least the most dangerous part of it, is probably closely related to the religion thing, as far as what kinds of mental states trigger more exaggerated and hazardous behavior. This, "you can have my X when you pry it from my cold dead hand" bit, where X is interchangeably gun or Bible. It still seems to come back to, if you can't control your dangerous behavior, the society is going to have to control it for you, and you're probably not going to enjoy that. And the only way to do that, given the basis of our legal system, is to regulate and or prohibit the commodities involved in the dangerous behavior. And before you tell me that more people are murdered each year with hammers than with handguns, even granting the validity of such a statistic for the moment, a hammer is a thing designed for a specific purpose, usually driving nails or shaping metal or some such thing, and people misuse it as a blunt instrument in combat. The peaceful, productive uses of hammers, blow for blow, vastly outnumber the malicious, harmful uses. Firearms, on the other hand, are designed to deliver deadly force quickly, accurately, and at a distance. To use a firearm in accordance with its designed function is to put other people at risk. To misuse a gun is to use it as a paperweight or an aquarium decoration. I can't think of a single off-label use of a firearm that poses more of a threat to the safety of people than the on-label use. Can you? And before you haul out that tired old trope, "if you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns," Nobody's talking about outlawing guns here. This is an attempt to enact reasonable gun regulation, which encourages responsible gun owners to take responsibility for the guns and ammunition that he or she owns and impose harsh penalties for those who don't. Let's consider ammunition for a second. If you buy 5,000 rounds of ammunition, you pose a much greater threat to the safety and security of those around you than if you purchase 1 round. Simply because A, each round of ammunition constitutes a potential fatal or debilitating wound to a person, and 2, the larger your stockpile of anything is, the harder it is to account for. As a chronic hoarder, I know. Chris Rock once did a bit where he talked about how we don't need gun control, we need bullet control. He said every bullet should cost $5,000. Well, maybe. The problem with that is black market bullets. Under my plan, you can have all the guns and all the ammo you want, but your responsibility as a gun owner will be strictly enforced. In order to exercise your right to keep and bear arms, you will have to pass a background check. If you've been convicted of a violent crime, your Second Amendment right is forfeit. Then, you need to take a gun safety course and pass written and practical tests and legally certify that you understand and willingly accept your rights and responsibilities as a registered gun owner. From this day forward, every round of ammunition, every firearm is serialized and registered at the time of purchase. All functional firearms must microstamp their registered serial number onto each live round at the time that they fire it. The preferred method for doing this is by way of the firing pin or hammer. Tampering with this system will result in harsh penalties. For all firearms and ammunition already in the wild, you have a 1-year amnesty period during which you can either trade in your unregistered guns for properly serialized and registered guns, or have your existing guns either destroyed, rendered permanently inoperable, or serialized and registered. All ammunition you have has to be even traded for properly serialized and registered ammunition. Because, as a registered gun owner, you are subject to periodic audits as well as random audits, just like if you handled other dangerous things that could fall into the wrong hands, like fissionable nuclear material or anthrax. Under the new rules, you have to be able to account for every round you purchase, own, and fire. Every live round, every slug, every shell casing, individually. Every unaccounted for round or part of a round subjects you to a $10,000 fine and or 6-month imprisonment per serialized item with no cap. Loss of control of a firearm or a round of live ammunition, including losing 1 bullet through a hole in your pocket at the range, carries a $50,000 fine and 1 year in prison per serialized item, no cap. Escrow storage of all firearms and ammunition for a term of double the prison sentence. Suspension of purchase, possession, use, and sale privileges for double the prison sentence. Failure or refusal to comply with an audit carries a $200,000 fine and 2 years in prison. Escrow storage of all firearms and ammunition for 4 years. Suspension of purchase, possession, use, and sale privileges for 4 years. Use of a firearm in the commission of a crime, even if the firearm is merely brandished, carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison, no parole, forfeiture of all property. Purchase, possession, use, or sale of a firearm or ammunition which is unregistered or registered to someone else carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison, no parole, forfeiture of all property. See? As long as you are not a violent criminal and stay within compliance of the accountability requirements, you can keep and bear arms just as much as you like. No limitations on how many bullets can fit in a clip, or how many clips you can own, or anything stupid like that. And responsible gun ownership is strongly encouraged for those who choose to own guns. For the rest of us, knowing that the law treats firearms with at least the seriousness that it treats pot or cars would be something of a comfort. And now for the week ending June 26th, here's Paul Torville with your exclusive Pastcast weather. Here's your exclusive pastcast weather. The desert Southwest had scattered thunderstorms, cool, then hot. Because why not? And the Pacific Northwest had showers and cool, then sunny and hot. 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 The California coast, sunny and hot. Because, I don't know, it's the California coast. What are you going to do? It's a mystery. Air moves. I don't know. I'm Paul Torville, and that's your exclusive pastcast weather. Pick a flag, any flag. Still to come, Troy will rise again. And, yes, but does it mend a broken heart?
For your upcoming wedding, bat mitzvah, or funeral, trust the professionals at Blas Florist to create the perfect mood-appropriate arrangement. Your special occasion will be so much more special with a Blas Florist arrangement. Blas will help your memories be that much more memorable. Call or click today to order your unique and not at all sexually suggestive arrangement from Blas Florist. Blas, the florist you shouldn't fear.
North Korea had tried intimidating the world with its rockets. The world pretty much shrugged. Then they tried to intimidate the world with their nuclear weapons. The world raised an eyebrow. Next, they tried to impress the world with their space program. The world stared with incredulity. Now, North Korea has, reportedly, developed a wonder drug that cures cancer, HIV, and Ebola. Principal components of the drug are ginseng and so-called rare earth elements. Although it's not clear whether the North Korean Central News Agency is using the term rare earth elements in the way Carl Sagan might have, or the way Deepak Chopra would. And I'm sure the millions of ordinary North Koreans suffering from years of drought, famine, and total intrusive domination will be delighted to know their Ebola, HIV, and cancer fears are a thing of the past. And if these North Korean scientists can achieve such a miracle of ASEAN proportions with ginseng, imagine what they could do with glucosamine, chondroitin, or the ever-mysterious ginkgo biloba. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? The mass shooting at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in South Carolina has reignited debate over the Confederate flag. Dylan Roof, the suspect currently in custody for the shooting, posted numerous pictures of himself online with guns and Confederate flags, as well as the flags of Rhodesia and apartheid South Africa. The backlash against the Confederate flag has been rather stunning. I have to admit, I think the flag is a tired and retarding symbol of a failed attempt to preserve an inhumane societal structure. To be clear, I'm talking about the Confederate flag. Really. South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley called on the state legislature to vote to remove the flag from the State House grounds, and they voted 103 to 10 to remove it. To 10! 10 people in the South Carolina legislature said, yeah, I don't think I see what the problem is. Meanwhile, in the rest of the world, the governors of Virginia, North Carolina, and Maryland have vowed to push for the discontinuation of their state's Confederate-themed license plates. Sears, Kmart, eBay, and, of all companies, Walmart, have announced plans to discontinue sales of Confederate-themed merchandise. The General Lee is going away, and NASCAR has stated, as our industry works collectively to ensure that all fans are welcome at our races, NASCAR will continue our long-standing policy to disallow the use of Confederate flag symbols in our official NASCAR capacity. While NASCAR recognizes that freedom of expression is an inherent right of all citizens, we will continue to strive for an inclusive environment at our events. Wait, long-standing? How the hell did they get away with that? Well, Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, you can submit your story tips online at newsundies.com or on Twitter with the hashtag NUSTip. NewsUndies is a weekly show, but we'll be taking next week off to celebrate the July 4th holiday. Be safe out there. We'll be back on Friday, July 10th with fresh undies. I'm sure nothing will happen between now and then. If you like this video, please like this video. If you like the show, please spread the word. Got a question, comment, or suggestion? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, circle us on Google+, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, ignore us on MySpace, tell your friends, and buy NewsUndies Kitsch at newsundies.com. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at NewsUndies, until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be distancing myself from my childhood appreciation for the Dukes of Hazzard. Thanks to story tippers Anonymous and Simon the God of Hairdos. Also, thanks to Randy Brush, Packard Sonic, Patrizia Fiorentini, Highway, and John Bear for the shares and feedback. Oh, and don't forget to catch me live on Packard Pokes at July 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Should be fun.
I just want to tell you good luck. We're all counting on you.